Hey friends, thank you for joining me today. We are on day 15 of 10 more days of sketches. And this sketch here is by Page Maps. You can see it there on the screen. And I'm using the Maggie Holmes and Crate Paper Gather collection for this. This was something that was in my stash, and I thought, you know what, let's use what we've got. You know, I've got a ton of this stuff because I at one point was pretty obsessed with crepe paper. I still am. I love crepe paper and Maggie Holmes. And so when I bought all the things. And because I remember her collections back then, they still are, but um, her collections were huge, like 3,000 sheets of paper, different pattern papers, 27 packs of embellishments and doodads and puffy stickers and alphas and all that. So, we've got a lot of this stuff in our stash, and why not use it? So I decided for the background paper that I'm going to use that plus sign yellow sheet of paper. I really like the brightness. I wanted something bright and something that popped. And so originally I was not going to go with that route. I was going to go with kind of like a ledger type of sheet of background paper. But I thought, no, go big or go home. Let's do this. And I'm not following the sketch exactly. I never really do. I usually kind of improvise. In this sketch here particularly, there were some scallop circles on the left and to the right of that centerpiece of cardstock paper, and I decided, nah, I'm not going to use scallop circles. They're not really my thing, and so I'm just using, as you can see here, plain sheets of, not plain sheets, just strips of pattern paper. So I just glue them to either side of that strip of black and white random polka dot, and I'm going to move forward from there. Super, super simple. This is my photo. These are my photos. They're of my daughters, and we were homeschooling, and they were both concentrating so hard in their workbooks. And I thought, you know what, let's document this. This COVID-19's kind of taken all of us for a loop, and we're doing things that we're not used to doing, and we don't necessarily do. I've never homeschooled my children. I'm, a big believer in teachers are, God sent, and so we're dealing with this day by day, and we have this I have this documentation now that, COVID-19 has hit us, and we're homeschooling and we're learning from school. We've just gotten word that school is out at least until May 5th or 6th, and so we're going to be learning from home for a little while if they don't cancel the rest of the school year, but it's still too early to tell. And so I'm going now through the die cut ephemera, and I'm going to choose some pieces to mat my photos with, just create more of a matting, as well as to embellish the rest of my page. I've used a lot of this collection as far as die cuts go. There's a lot of pieces of acetate. I don't use those too frequently. More on cards. I find it easier for myself on cards to use them, but not so much on layout, maybe because there's just so much going on a layout with different pattern papers and whatnot. But yeah, I don't have very much of this collection as far as embellishments go. I probably would not even be able to find any gather embellishments. But that's not to say that you couldn't pull in another one of Maggie's collections and just make it work, because a lot of her collections work together. A lot of her color schemes are very similar, and a lot of the theme in general, there's always like some type of floral, and there's usually like an aqua or mint or pink or whatnot, so definitely make it work. I've got a ton of this paper left though. A ton. I think I still have all the thickers, and I think I have a lot of it left. Just the ephemera. I started buying, I think it was a couple years ago, I started buying like multiples of ephemera because of the fact that I embellish heavily. And so after I make a couple layouts, I don't want to be stuck with just the pieces that I won't use. I want to be able to still create because of the amount of paper that usually comes in the collections. So I've put my photo onto some dimensional foam for obviously for some dimension. And I really like the shadows that putting it on dimensionals gives us. And so these are, working on my title here, these kind of minty, kind of aqua colored thickers are called Blessed, and they're chipboard, nope, I'm lying. They are called Doll. And the title of this will be Homeschool Adventures. And so this pack of thickers is got to be at least 5 or 6 years old, and I have used it a lot. It's gotten some love. And so I'm just trying to make the word, and I know that there's uppercase and lowercase, but I thought that added to the whimsy of the layout. And so usually I'm not a big fan of mismatched letters and whatnot, but I in this case, I went with it. I let my guard down. And so because these are slightly older, and I do anyway, but I mean, I like to add a bit more wet adhesive on the back. I actually did run out of E's, but I created one out of an F and a period, and it works just well. You can't even tell. And now I'm going to take these mini puffy alpha stickers from Pink Fresh Studio to create the word homeschool. So I'm using here my X-Acto blade kind of knife to put the letters down because I have sausage fingers and I find it difficult to sometimes, you know, position things properly. I know some people use tweezers. I was never able to use the tweezers, although I do have, I think, 2 or 3 pairs of tweezers in my craft room for, you know, crafting use, obviously. But I could never make it work with tweezers, but with a knife, I could work a knife. So this floral, big, gigantic, minty floral piece I just loved. And so I cut it in half, and then I tucked one half underneath and then tucked the other half in another layer. So it looks like there's multiples there. I'm also using some pieces from the 6x12 sticker sheet here. There's another floral. I actually don't use that floral. But I do use some tiny phrases, surprise, surprise. So the sketch calls for very minimal embellishing, if any even, but I have to remain true to my style and what I like. And so I did embellish a little heavier than the sketch called for, and I'm okay with that because the sketch is just really a jumping off point. There isn't anything, you know, concrete about a sketch. It just gives you an idea of where to go, and really using a sketch is pretty easy if you can get out of the box that a sketch can kind of put you into, if that makes any sense, even though it's supposed to help you. Doesn't need to be exact. It's just giving you a starting off and jumping off point. Now these stickers here are called Bless, and they're chipboard pieces, and I'm just taking some arrows in like a glittered, gold glittered, chunky gold glitter, and just adding them at the end of Adventures there. And now I'm also taking some gold thread, creating a little nest, and I'm going to use that chipboard piece. I can't read what it says. All I can read is today. I'm also going to take some Heidi Swap Color Shine in gold and just add some gold splatter around my page. I think it just ties everything together and finishes off the page. It does in my opinion anyway. And this is my layout. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. I hope you guys will consider subscribing if you already haven't. If you have it in you, give my video a thumbs up. I appreciate it greatly, and it also helps me in the YouTube world. I don't know how, but it does. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I hope you guys are staying safe. I hope you guys are well, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care of yourselves. Bye.